really hard to get rid of Joakim Noah. Like, they want to be active and get rid of him. So, hopefully that happens. Hopefully someone's like, yeah, we could use Joakim Noah. Here's Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, man, that would be amazing. It depends what, they're willing to give up to get rid of him. I don't really see the need to do so. I kind of think it's just, you just kind of leave it where it is, and okay, you've got that contract for another, couple years, and it stinks, but you don't have to give away a bunch of assets. It'll expire on its own, and you should be kind of sucking right now anyways, considering your star player is pretty much out for the entire year. So I don't like the idea of getting rid of a whole lot to get rid of Noah's contract. Just let him stew on there. He can, maybe now that Hornacek's gone, he'll consider coming back. I don't know, but I just kind of think it's just something that you gotta just let be and deal with bad decisions that were made.
I mean, at this point, I kind of feel like I want to do one of two things with Joakim Noah. Offer anyone Joakim Noah for their second round pick, and just try and get someone in the draft. If no one bites on that, then just cut him loose. You're paying him anyways, but cutting him would free up a roster spot for someone else to be on the team. Someone from the G League. Like maybe a guy like Luke Cornett can get a real shot. Maybe they can bring up Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother. Give them a chance. Who knows? If you're going to pay him anyways, what is the point of having him just sit in the locker room or sit at home? Just cut loose and waste that roster spot that you could have someone else in.
Yeah, and there's the potential that if that did happen, he might get signed by another team, and if they pay him, I think it works the same as in other leagues where if someone else signs him and pays him X amount, then you don't have to keep paying him.
You just pay the difference.
You still have to. Sorry.
You just pay up to the difference. So if he's got $28 million left on his contract and he gets signed for 20, the Knicks are on the hook for 8.
Right. So yeah, that's a potential way to make his contract hurt a little less.
Right, but he's just wasting a roster spot. If we're going to pay him anyways, just cut him, take your loss, pay him to just sit at home like he's already doing, and just open up that roster spot for someone at the league minimum. You're going to pay him like what, a couple $100,000? That's nothing. I say that, but that's a lot of money.
I'd love to get a vet min contract.
Seriously.
Flip the script a little.
Exactly. But, if he's... I feel like I sound like a broken record. If you're going to be paying him, at least make him useful. Clear out his roster spot or make him play.
Right. I definitely with you on that, and again, who knows? Maybe the bad blood is gone. I don't know. I don't know if his issue is with the Knicks as a whole now, or if it was really just with Hornacek.
Well, we'll see, because the season starts up in, just kidding. It's not that close. Okay.
September before you know it.
It will be September before you know it. So, I think it's time to move on to the reason we're all excited to be here tonight. Potential landing spots for LeBron James.
Yes.
Okay. So, I put mine into two categories. One that everyone's been talking about, one that or a category 5 that, people have been talking about, 5 that I think he would fit in for various reasons, and then, like I said, the 2 that people have been saying that I don't think makes any sense. So, how do you want to do this? You want to just whoever, runs down their list, or you want to go like every you know what? I'll just read mine, and we'll discuss each one, okay?
Sounds
and
good.
then at the end, anyone else that hasn't been brought up, we can discuss, yeah?
Definitely.
Okay.
All right. So for the teams that make sense that people have been talking about, obviously Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, they would compete with Golden State if he's on the team. Compete immediately. You'd have Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, LeBron James. You got J.J. Redick who can shoot, so he'd be replacing a guy like Kyle Korver. You've got Joel Embiid, who's probably one of the greatest forces on Twitter right now. Ben Simmons, who could really use a guy like LeBron to help him develop into
Tutelage of
to where he should be, because I know he's only been playing one season. He's not a rookie though, but I'm not as impressed with what I see as what I was hoping for. I feel like he's got a lot to work on, a lot to develop, and LeBron could really bring the best out in him. And that team would be scary as hell come Eastern Conference Finals.
Sounds like a missing puzzle piece.
Yeah, so what do you think about that, Philadelphia 76ers, O'Shea?
I think that is easily one of the favorites, and for good reason. They don't have to do a whole lot to get LeBron, and he could fit in there pretty easily. I think it would be a really fun team with LeBron on it.
I hate saying it because I hate the city of Philadelphia, but I completely agree. I think, like I said, LeBron James on that team is probably the most dangerous team in the East. I don't think it's even probably. Is easily the most dangerous team in the East. Oh.
I think it would be them and Boston in the Eastern Final, and it could go to 7 games if Boston's healthy, because Kyrie and Gordon Hayward back are nothing to sneeze at on the Boston roster that went to the Eastern Conference Final already
Without them.
Right. But yeah, LeBron on Philly, it would be Ben Simmons at point guard, and then Redick and Fultz probably at shooting guard. Small forward would be what's his face, Covington, and then you'd have LeBron and Saric sharing power forward, but obviously LeBron would really be the center there. Not the center position, the center of
centerpiece.
Yeah, and then Embiid would be the center, and that would just be really dangerous. The size and athleticism of that 5-man roster right there would really overwhelm a lot of other teams, especially teams that try and go small ball to be more athletic. You're not gonna really be more athletic than that team, and they're all taller than you.
Right. So Philadelphia 76ers, dangerous team with LeBron. Probably, I'd say probably would give the Warriors a hard time in the finals. I don't think it'd be a cakewalk.
Yeah, and the Sixers can sign LeBron outright. They don't have to do anything. The only thing that they would probably want to do would be make enough room to sign him to his max and bring back J.J. Redick. And I don't. If I'm Redick, I take a small pay cut to to get LeBron on that team.
If I'm Redick, I will take a year's supply of corn to get LeBron on that team. That's my pay. But yeah, 76ers, the obvious choice, I think, among many. So one not so obvious that I think a lot of people are starting to talk about, that I've been saying for a couple weeks now, the New Orleans Pelicans. You put him on the team with Boogie Cousins, Anthony Davis. That right there, those three are three of the five most dynamic players in the NBA right now.
Yeah, but I don't think anything we get done in that combo because, like I said, Boogie Cousins kind of goes his own way on a lot of stuff, right? So I'm just seeing conflicting egos right off the bat with that one.
Well, I thought that would be how it would have been with Anthony Davis being the guy in New Orleans, and Boogie Cousins has basically accepted that. I'm pretty sure if...
But two's a company, three's a crowd.
Well, the Pelicans are at the cap, so they have to do... they likely have to do a sign and trade. And I think Cousins has his own... I think his contract, he kind of controls his... I think he has a player option, like no trade clause or something. I know New Orleans doesn't control his rights. I'm not super. I'm not remembering why right now. So they'd likely have to get rid of Holiday in order to afford LeBron. So they'd probably have to trade Holiday and like Maratic for him in a sign and trade for the with the Cavs. But if you're keeping LeBron and you're keeping Davis and Cousins, you still got Rajon Rondo as your point guard. I forget who they would have as their shooting guard, but it doesn't really matter with the rest of that roster. LeBron and Rajon would be doing some beautiful like multi-step passing because they're both just amazing passers.
Not to mention they're both extremely intelligent basketball players anyways.
Yeah, and they would just be setting up Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins and getting their own buckets whenever they wanted. It would be a really fun team to watch.
I completely agree. I don't think it's going to happen.
It is tougher. Sorry?
I was just saying I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. It's tougher for them to do it. They have to do the sign and trade. That always makes things harder, especially when there's a whole lot of teams that can just sign him outright.
Absolutely. So while it's improbable, it's not impossible. And he would fit in well. I think his expertise would lend itself very well to New Orleans. We already saw what they can do when they get to the playoffs. They were a fun team to watch, a dangerous team, certainly. Adding LeBron to DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis quite possibly could give the Warriors, which we're going to have to, every team we talk about, we're going to have to say how would they stack up against the Warriors. That's just how it is. I think they would stack up pretty well against the Warriors. Because, again, they're bigger than you and they're very athletic. So,
right.
So the next one, going back to the other side of the ones that everyone's talking about, Houston Rockets. Houston would have the core of Chris Paul, James Harden, and LeBron James. I personally don't think this would work out very well because you already have Chris Paul, the point guard. You have, James Harden, the guy who needs the ball in his hand, like at almost all points of the game, or he's not going to be happy. So I think what you would see there is just pure and utter dysfunction and a team that's going to implode in itself, very similar to what you saw in Oklahoma City with Durant, Ibaka, Harden, and Westbrook. So I don't think that would work out very well.
I don't see this happening purely financially. The Rockets have, I think, $20 million in cap, and they don't really have a lot they can do to make more out of that. and they don't really have a lot of pieces that I know that they want to trade, except for Trevor Ariza, but no